Hi, I would like to give the presentation on ICT approach to defuse the cybercriminal sedition dimension of Telangana movement. Agenda points are introduction, computing the cybercrimes in the case study, motivation, delimitation of the case study, conclusions, and references. Introduction. From 2011 to 15, they ran fake government of Telangana. The present government formed in 2014 is in the aftermath of the cybercriminal government of Telangana that had existence since 2011 with its subsidiary outfit. The Giant H Jack has evidenced the letter's website since the last quarter of 2011. We gather snapshots through a web crawler tool. The cybercrime is one that violates the law, that is cyber law code CRP.C Act Constitution using web as a media. Cheating crime and sedition crime are represented as the cybercrimes of interest towards handling unlawful organized activity in J&H. This screenshot represents an RTA application of the author to elicit attested information with regard to the J&H's relationship with the fake government of Telangana versus with the parliament enacted government of Telangana. Sedition crime and cheating crime are highlighted here. Over the years 2011 to 2014, these two crimes were ignored in the sense that no FIR is registered despite the complaint. Towards the remedy, as mentioned in Figure 1, the information submitted RTA application to the ACP Kukatpalli Division and Cyberabad Commissionerate. The issue was pursued. Finally, an FIR was registered against the unregistered organized group J&H Jack. The cybercriminal activity became unchecked by our endeavor. Computing the cybercrimes in the case study, the case study involves 4 cybercrimes. Nearly 2,500 online registrants were made into the cybercriminal website, that is jnthjack.com. This means that for each of these registrations, 4 cybercrimes are applicable. Thus, there is a sense to say that 2,500 into 4 cybercrimes are relevant in the context. This value of 10,000 cybercrimes involved in interesting to study further. This is for 2 cybercriminal organizations involved in the case study. Thus, 10,000 into 2 equal to 20,000 units of crime is involved in the case study. This is what we refer to as degree of cybercriminal case. The term degree of cybercrime is rather a neologism. It refers to the computation of cybercriminal intensity in the case study. When the cybercrimes of this kind are left unchecked, the degree of cybercrimes increases by arithmetic progression by a value of 8 additively for each registration. The high value of the degree of crime indicates that the case study involves big data. This may seem misnomer as first note. However, it is to be understood that what is big data volume in one context may not be so in another context. For instance, the value of 2,000 units of degree of cybercrime in our case study is considered as big data owing to it that the data is relevant to crime. Computing the cybercrimes in the case study, small statistical value as measure of degree of cybercrime should rather be considered as big data owing to it that the data is relevant to crime. This data volume may not be treated as big data with regard to some other application which is non-criminal. The table below indicates that computational details with regard to degree of cybercrime in our case study. So number of here the columns are number of cybercriminal organizations, number of registrations, number of crimes, degree of crime. So there are 2 cybercriminal organizations, J&H Jack and CSGOT. 2,500 registrations are there approximately. There are 4 number of cybercrimes, degree of crime. So it's almost 20,000 units of cybercrimes is there. Motivation. We highlighted the context where in the complaint was for registration of sedition crime in the case study, but the Cyberabad police registered the complaint as identity theft under section 66C under IT Act 2002-2008. It interests us to to evaluate the grounds for the non-registration of the complaint against the sedition crime. It is felt that online sedition crime in particular was not considered in the formulation of the IT Act 2002-2008. Perhaps it was because of it that the cybercrime PS police at Cyberabad did not register the complaint against the sedition crime. In this background, the complaint was later made in the KPHBPS near the JNTH University under the purview of any general police station, general sedition crime or online sedition crime. So this screenshot represents given the complaint to the Inspector of Police KPHBPS and Cyberabad. Sedition crime has to be registered against the government of Telangana. This snapshot represents file FIR against sedition informed to the DCP and ADCP Cyberabad. It is informed that FIR be filed for immediate action against the culprit government of Telangana in the issue. Delineation of the case study. The author requested for information under RTA Act 2005 regarding the higher authorities. The Registrar and PIO Public Information Officer on October 2014. According to the attested information to the VC, JNTH and then CI KVHBPS, the following information was asked under the RTA Act 2005. Did the JNTH authorities ever communicate with the FGOT or the allied JNTH JAC members in any manner or context, and ask a list of JNTH officers who considered FGOT or the allied JNTH JAC ever as legal or constitutional or as to have existed as known from its website till recently as in references. Question B asked about martyrs. Relief fund collected from staff salaries after Telangana formation in June 2014. Number C. Why JNTH neglected to identify the cases of students who are involved in FGOT or the allied JNTH JAC activities for award of degrees since 2011 to till date. Question number D. Information as to how the JNTH authorities checked the FGOT or the allied JNTH JAC activities in the campus year-wise since 2011 to till date, etc. This screenshot represents the registering a crime case of sedition with RTA Act 2005 application to ACP and PIO Kukatpalli. So this screenshot represents RTI Act 2005 application to the DCP Madhapur Zone from Research Advisor. This screenshot represents a crime case of sedition, file FIR against sedition to the Commissioner of Police, Cyberabad Commissionerate, Hyderabad. This screenshot represents memo sent by from Office of the Deputy Commissioner of Police, IPS, Madhapur Zone, Cyberabad to the PIO ACP Kukatpalli. So conclusions, our work has conceptualized the nation of degree of cybercrime. The case study of multiple cybercrimes interests the research community. Because of that, it is a big data crime. What is of big data value in the case of cybercrimes may not be so in normal applications or cases. This is because cybercrimes tend to abuse the IT application scenario. The negative impact applications of IT should not outnumber or tend to be enormous as compared to the positive impact applications. This significance and impact of degree of cybercrime is under study. The notion soars towards the metrics of cybercrimes. In our earlier empirical study, the police only when questioned under the RTA Act as to why the complaint was not registered a cybercrime complaint. Now, the case study presented here has a similar issue. The remedies to the common man who is patriotic and complains against a cybercrime which abuses the national assets such as the national emblem and the government of India are bleak in the sense that the role play of the law enforcement agencies is very dissatisfactory. So in sequel, we conclude that the present government such as the state government of Telangana 2014 as well as the one at the union level should feel responsible and release white paper with regard to the actions taken by them to defuse the fake government of Telangana, cheating government of Telangana, seditious government of Telangana, and to ensure non-recurrence of prevalence of cybercriminal governments. The possibility of social networking websites gives a hope for us to disseminate about the fake cybercriminal government of Telangana. The work in this regard is on the anvil for further research. These are the research references that we used. Thank you.